Hello everyone, this is Yufan. I'm an AIA member and lead AP. I'm glad to be invited by Vicky Chan to share some general study tips to help your painful ARE study. During this presentation, I'll briefly go through my personal exam timeline, the study materials, and some exam tips for AIE 5.0, especially for the project planning design PPD and the project development and documentation PDD exams. First of all, the exam timeline. I took the exam during the period March 2017 to May 2018. I was lucky at the time because there was the opportunity to take only 5 exams in total due to the reform of the AIA exams, if you know, from 4.0 to 5.0. When I was studying and taking the exam, it was stressful at first because, as you see, I failed the first 3 exams in a row. It wasn't until 3 months later from the first exam date that I passed my first exam. I just didn't think too much about failing and keep taking exams almost once a month. Therefore, even though I failed the construction documents and services CDS a second time, I managed to pass all the following exams in a row. So here I'm giving some general tips. It's completely normal to fail. It may be disappointing, but firstly, most people will fail. And secondly, no one knows you'll fail except yourself. Therefore, don't stress out on failing the exams. Secondly, keep your study and exam pace and don't concentrate on a single exam because the exams are interrelated. The knowledge of one exam will definitely benefit another. If you're taking the smaller exams first, it will be great to schedule a few exams in a row. For example, 1 per month. In this way, you can keep your pace steady, and no matter you pass the previous exams or not, you are more prepared for the next one, like what I did when I take the exams. The next one is to use your lunch time to study. I used to have about an hour and a half for lunchtime, and I found that it's easier for me to stay focused in the daytime than studying after dinner. So please make full use of the lunchtime if you could. Of course, the commuting time is also great to study. Finally, plan travels after exams. You need to relax after this study work madness. For the study materials, the first thing I'll recommend Black Spectacles. It's a study website especially for AI exams. I used it as one of my 2 main study materials. I found it very useful because, first of all, it includes a thorough 120 hours of video lectures across all exams, with practice exams and flashcards. If you are studying after a long working day, video lecture is the easiest way to go. Trust me. The video lectures are comprehensive and easy to understand. Each video focuses on a key topic, and the presenter explains the topic in a simple way with sketches. However, since it mainly introduces the basic concepts, you cannot solely rely on this website. You may want to watch it in 1.5 times speed because the presenter sometimes talks a bit slow. The price is about 95 US dollars per month for video lectures only. I didn't try the practice exams here, so I cannot comment on that. But I do recommend this website for the video contents. Here's a sample page, one of the lecture slides, just to show that the presenter will sketch and go through each key items in a very explicit way. The next study material is PPI. It's the main study material I used, especially this review manual book. It covers almost everything in great detail that will appear in the exam. The book is very systematic and informative, but some topics may be too overwhelming by covering too much detail. Of course, this great level of detail helps to build a thorough understanding for all the topics. The book of AIE 5.0 practice problem is also very useful and helpful. It even has questions that appeared in my actual exams. The last one I recommend is Designer Hacks. It features quite a few free advice on each exam, including study materials and videos. I purchased the question banks on this website just for its low price, $39 per exam, and unlimited access. Although they don't have a large question pool, the free stuffs and low price definitely worth a check. The next part is exam tips. For general tips, the first one I would say is that AIA 5.0s are interrelated to each other. As you can see in this diagram, studying one exam will benefit the other. Even if you fail one exam, do not hesitate to jump into the other. It'll help the one you just failed. Secondly, keep a good pace and use all the spare time available to study, as I said. The first pass will give you a lot of confidence, but again, failing is totally okay. So don't lose hope. Last of all, once you make your own timetable, schedule the exams from Prometric as soon as possible and stick to it. Changing exam time is very costly. If you go to the test center, you must be ready for its slow machines. I bring this up because I came across major hardware issues during the exam. My computer froze 5 times due to the unstable internet connection during my PPD exam. Anyway, I'm not sure about the other test centers. The one in Hong Kong has very slow computers. Therefore, every time it opens a drawing page or reference materials takes about tens of seconds or even a few minutes. So prepare yourself for the slow machines and move faster tackling the questions. For the case study, if you didn't practice, you should have a look at NCARB website. Each case study is consisted of a series of questions upon one specific case with a lot of information and references. They are the most time consuming and testing different aspects of skills. Since you need a lot of time to consume the case and do the reading, make sure you have enough time to do the case study questions. You can either do it at first or go through other questions as fast as you can. Be cautious that each question in the case study is independent. One question doesn't necessarily relate to another. When you first come into this part, I recommend that you just read the basic information and go directly into the questions. It'll save a lot of time doing this because the reference materials are usually very long and take a lot of time to open. Since the questions are not related between themselves, if you cannot find the right information, it's best to make a guess and keep going. Last but not least, make sure to use the handy find function to search keywords in the references. For the exam part, because I only took 2 exams from the ARE 5.0, I'll briefly talk about these 2 big bad exams in the following presentation. The project planning and design, PPD. For PPD, I recommend to reserve at least 2 months of study time. During the study, you should be familiar with occupancy types, construction types, and fire-resistant concepts. Be familiar with the NRC noise reduction coefficient rating and concepts. Be familiar with HVAC system types and structural systems. You should have a brief understanding of the IBC, the International Building Code, because it's a major code reference in the case study questions. You should focus more on studying and understanding basic concepts, because the PPD exam is more about problem solving rather than remembering certain numbers and codes. You can refer to this link below for a good long resource post from designerhacks.com. Finally, the project development and documentation, the PDD, supposedly the most difficult exam. You can reserve 2 months of study time for it, since PPD and PDD have many topics in common. If you already have studied PPD, you'll be more relaxed. During the study, you should be familiar with the master spec, remembering which items goes where. Be familiar with the ordinary details and drawings. For example, brick veneer system, resilient drywall panels, wood, steel, and concrete joints, etc. Be familiar with the maximum load calculation methods of wood, steel, concrete, etc., and know how to work through those complicated charts. You should be ready for going back and forth an almost full set of drawings of a project with a very, very slow computer. If you are not familiar with the construction, there is a good YouTube channel called Ask the Builder, which I found very useful to visually understand the process. There's also a very good long resource post from designerhacks.com. Check this link. Okay, I think this wraps up the presentation of ARE 5.0 study tips. If you have any questions, you can email me from this email address. Thank you for your listening and good luck.